Hey Dan, hey Matt, how you guys doing? There we go. Hey Steve, Plywood, what's going on guys? Johnny, welcome in. That should do. Let's see how balanced this thing is. That's not too bad. That's a little much. There we go. Big Mex, what's going on, man? All right, so this is more of that mystery wood. This is more of that mystery wood. I do not know what it is. Good old found on ground on the base. So we're just going to get it turned up and see what we can make out of it. Here, I think we'll get a tenon on this. That should work out pretty good. Way too fast. There we go. There we go. I gotta get you, Raja. How you doing, sir? Get you guys zoomed in a little better view here. Grab my little cheater gauge. Still got a ways to go there. See how that's looking. That's better. There's almost just moderators in the chat. New beginnings, Chase, what's going on, man? There we go, and that sets my dovetail. Little anime gaming. Hey, welcome in. Josh, what's going on, man? So I was saying, got our dovetail tenon set up. We still got some more to get around, get rid of this bark. We'll get her taken care of. Looks like we got a bug hole, so you never know. We may find a worm or something inside. He's not going to be happy when he meets the 1/2-inch bowl gouge, but if you guys saw that. Some big chunk just, that was probably that bark flew off. Yeah. Peel the rest of that off so it doesn't fly up and smack me in the face. That would not be fun. Hey, Wood Art, how you doing, sir? Welcome in. Slow down as we come out the edge. Guy-san, welcome in. Made a wood train. Cool. All right. Getting plenty of shavings off of that. Let's see if we got it down here. Still got a little bit of bark to go right there. This might be more of that locust wood. Not entirely sure. Jack in the shop, welcome in. Giles, welcome in. Go. Take a look at this. Zuan. You have a Dremel? Nice. Philip, welcome in. Hey, Pilato, how's it going? Pure Radiance. Real purpose of the lathe is to try to get covered as much wood dust as possible. This is true. Gazelle, how's it going? Can't pronounce that name, but welcome in. Get a quick look at this. Try to get you guys in a little better spot so you can see how this is turning out. That is not bad at all. Mayank, how you doing? Welcome in. Kimberly, hello. Patricia, I have always wanted to learn wood turning. You make it look effortless, though I know it isn't. It's not that bad. It's actually fairly simple to learn. And it's probably the most fun you can have in the shop. My opinion, of course, but... if you live near a Rockler or a Woodcraft, let me zoom you guys out just a touch here. If you live near a Rockler or a Woodcraft, they have classes they do on the weekends. Hey, Perry, welcome in. Besides, yep. We'll turn you kind of this way. That's, I think, about the 6th one of those I've filled in the past 2 weeks. Just full of shavings. Okay, we're going to get this turned around. If we can. As I said before, I like to use the wormwood screw. When I start my turnings, which is that guy, basically you drill a hole in your blank and just thread it right on. There we go. I'm going to get you guys moved around here for a better view. Maybe something like that, maybe. That should be pretty good. Make sure we're going to be at about our center line, which we should be. I think I need to move you guys over more. Put you over here. There we go. I haven't seen the weather report, but I think rain's in the forecast for I think most of the U.S. We'll get our flashlight set up so you guys can see better. And we'll get this hollowed out. So we come up here, we get started, and just rotate around. Whoa, 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 okay. Now, for anybody who is looking to get started, I'd recommend starting out with the carbides. Carbides, literally, have a chunk of carbide here on the end. They come in a lot of different shapes, sizes. This is the mid-size hollower from Easy Wood. But with the hollower, or with the carbides, you just set that up parallel to the floor and pull it out. Just like that. There is more sanding to do at the end if you use the carbides, but it doesn't take that long. Oh, I'm hitting my flashlight. All right, you got to move right up over here. I think you guys can still see. All right, stop giving me a hard time. I'm trying to take too big a bite. Woodchucker, what's going on? Philip, tired of the rain? Yeah. I'm getting tired of cutting my grass. All right, now we're going to take a peek at this. Now we still got a ways to go there. I'm going to go ahead and quick flatten off the edge. That's all right. Pick up a little bit of speed there. All right, now we're going to check some thickness. It looks like we're at about 1.25 inches in depth. That leaves us roughly about a 1/2 inch to the bottom. Our sides, just a little under a 1/2 inch thick. We'll take a little more off the bottom, and then we're going to put this one aside to continue drying. This wood's starting to feel pretty dry until you get down into the center there, and I can still feel the moisture. So, as I said, this wood was found lying on the ground, or this log was found lying on the ground. So there's a chance it's going to warp still as it continues to dry. There we go. We're going to leave that right about there. We'll do one final measurement just to check it. About 1.5 inches. That leaves maybe 3/8 at the bottom, which is probably about what we got on the edges. Maybe a strong 3/8, so that'll be good. Set that off to the side, let him continue drying, and at a later time, once he's dry... Ooh, got a couple cracks going on. Does that go all the way through? Nope. So let's see if you guys can see that. There it is. So we're gonna have to get some CA glue. Pull you back out here. There we go. We'll get it pulled off the lathe and pulled off the chuck here. Let you guys get a good look at it. And then we'll figure out what we're going to turn next. Let's zoom out a little more. There we go. So there's our first one. All right, like I said, with the wet woods, grab my example piece here. There's this guy. This guy's what, about 2 weeks old now? So 2 weeks ago, he was perfectly flat like this one is. And now, definitely not. You guys can probably see that in the, yeah, you guys should be able to see that. So anyway, they got to dry out. Then once they've completely dried, you put them back on the lathe and turn them back to true and take them down to their final dimensions. The bowl cracked. Yeah, as they dry, they'll get cracks and whatnot. That one's probably because that pith is right there. But we'll get some CA glue in it and he'll be all right. So let's see what we got. We got a couple different options. This is one, I believe, similar to the one we just did. And yeah, since we just did it, we won't do another one of those. So pull you back here. We got two options. So if anybody wants to chime in, left or right, this one here I think is elm. And this one here is the sycamore. I think that's what we found. I think that's what that is. So Perry saying left. Alrighty. Left it is, sir. Grab up the wormwood screw. This one is nowhere near balanced. So he's going to take us a little longer to get him true or around. And since we got a minute, I got to show you guys this. If you guys didn't see it, on Tuesday I was up at Big Mex's place, Big Mex Woodworking here on YouTube. So all this wood over here, all that back there, all that right there, and that giant stack there, along with that monster right there, all came from Big Mex. So we have got plenty of wood, of course, and I still got all the other wood that was found on ground. So we have got plenty of wood to be turning. We're going to get you back over here mounted up. I think that's what it is. It's either that or it was a roof beam. It's a redwood of some sort. That is, I mean... So that is 4.5 inches by 7 3/4, and it's longer than longer than 15. So we're gonna have some fun with that one. All right. See if we can't get this mounted up here. All right. Try to get you guys in a good spot here. Hassas, Zach, what's going on? Thanks for coming in. Trump won 2020. Do you find it's harder in the morning? I don't know what you're talking about there. Hassas, welcome in. Is there a best wood and a worst wood to use for a beginner? Cherry would probably be my recommendation, just off the commonly available here in the US. It turns wonderfully. It's not too hard. You can make a lot of cool stuff out of cherry. I mean, cherry's got a gorgeous... I think I got one in here. So I'll do a quick show and tell. So this here is one we did. This is honey locust. Would not recommend that. That's a very hard wood. This one here is cherry, which is just a wonderful wood to turn. And then if you can get it, mahogany is another wonderful wood to turn. How long would that last? Depends on what you do with it. So if you set it out and just put stuff in it, it'd probably last forever. I don't know about forever, but it lasts for a good long time. Now, if you're using it and putting food and stuff in it, and it's going through the wash cycles and all that, then probably not quite that long. It depends on how you finish it too. I mean, if you did an epoxy coat, that would definitely make it last longer than if you did like an oil finish. All right. We go. Start out with the 1/2-inch bowl gouge again. Rasul, welcome in. What is my finish of choice? I like to use lacquer. It's one of my favorite ones. Ooh. And I think you guys can see, I can't spin it up any faster than that, but if you look right up in this area, how you can kind of see wood and see through it at the same time, that's what tells you it's not round yet. So the noise you're hearing, in case you're wondering why it sounds kind of noisy, is because we're cutting wood, then nothing, and then the next piece of wood slams in, nothing, wood slams in. That's why it has that thump, 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 thump kind of noise. Once we get it round and get into where we're cutting wood the whole time, is where it smooths out. It sounds a whole lot better. John, welcome in. Amita, welcome in. And Naga Swado, welcome in. Got a lot of neat names in the chat tonight. Yep, you guys will probably also notice all the moderators that are in here tonight. Most of them do have channels. Moderators, if you want to post your link, feel free. Nice. I know I saw Johnny's Latecraft was in, Big Max was in, Steve from My Honey's Handmade, Perry from the Carving Wizard. A lot of these guys just do awesome, awesome stuff. RPM, currently running at 840 RPM. Chandria, welcome in. Delmas, how's it going? Baxra, Paravish. There's a big chunk came off. Where'd that go? That just came flying off of there. Alessandra, what's up? Alan? Oh, Aroge, welcome in. How long does it take to make a cup? If a blank's already set up and ready to go, maybe 20 minutes. That'd be for a basic cup. Maybe if you're trying to make like one of those old style Viking cups with the handles, it's going to take longer. But the basic shape, about 20 minutes. Oh, this one's going to be fun. Yeah, this one's still really wet. So, as a comparison to what you guys were seeing earlier, see how you get these real long, stringy off the wetter woods? You'll see that here in a minute as we get it to round. quick look at how we're doing. It's that bark section. Still got a ways to go before we're round. I think we're going to start working from the corner up on in. Meet again at size, at least 1 finger of the wood. I think that's what you mean. Distance from the tool rest to the wood. It is rotating counterclockwise. So basically, this top is going down. You guys can see here, we're just going to get the bark knocked off the bottom. Cutting the bark like that does dull your tool quite a bit faster, so it's something to consider. So you have to be cautious about how you hold the tool. General rule of thumb: tool touches the rest. Whoop, you can't even see that. Zoom you back here and such. Tool has to touch the rest first. So step 1, tool's on the rest. Your fingers are behind the rest, and then you just come in. And just like that. Hey, Grumpy, welcome in, man. How you doing? Okay, so I think we're going to do another tenon on this one too. Call that my little cheater piece of wood. When that fits, I know that my chuck would fully close on the tenon. We're gonna go ahead and we'll see if that'll work. Worst case scenario, it just blows off the lathe. There we go. Like I said before, I have dovetail jaws on my chuck, so that's why I'm using the skew to cut in that dovetail. This back over here, we will continue on with our shaping. Tauno, welcome in. Jimmy, hello from Colombia, South America. Nice, welcome in. Juan, it's truly wonderful. Piece of wood transport is something useful. Yep, love doing this. P.S. Dave, how's it going? And I can't pronounce the one below that, but welcome in. Oh, you guys can't see that. We're going to zoom you out a little bit here so you can kind of see the shavings fly. All right, there it is, one-handed. Only reason I'm doing that is because I know that drives Josh and Mex nuts. But remember, with your lathe tools, all your steering's from the back. The right hand, for me, I'm right-handed. Right hand controls everything. I don't think we're round yet. We are there, not there. So we got a little more material to take away. Scandies, how's it going? Pam? Is that Pam? Yep, Pam, welcome in. Slowly as we go out the other end. I'm going to see how we're doing. Still not quite round. See if we put you guys right there. You should be able to see that real good. Not quite round yet. Round over on the other side, it's not there. And we're still into this bark and area, so we got to get rid of that too. Ken, how's it going? Roberto, welcome in. Jermaine from Texas, welcome in. Wow, we got people from all over the place. Ada, how's it going? I got greedy on that one. To give you an idea what that was, I was trying to take off way too much. So I've only got a 1/2 inch bowl gouge, and while he can take off that much, that is nearly, you guys can't see that. There we go. That is nearly his max capacity. So that's more than my little bitty lathe can take. But it does make for some cool shavings. There we go. See if we're through that yet. In the springtime, I use them for mulch, and in the fall, they go in compost. Summertime, I basically just start storing them, getting ready for the fall composting. I do know some folks that take them to the local farmers for animal bedding, things like that, which is pretty cool. Ekmar? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Welcome in. Thanks, Pam. Let's see here. What shape do we want to go for? Well, the last bowl we did, we used that shape, so let's go kind of the opposite way. Whoa. All right, this tool's starting to get pretty dull, so we're going to switch over to our 3/8, which is another thing to consider if you do decide to go the traditional tool route, is you also have to think about how you're going to sharpen those versus carbide, which you can sharpen on a diamond plate or you can just replace for 20 bucks. So this is 3/8. Give you guys a size comparison here for the one I was just using, which was the 1/2 inch, and then here's the 3/8. 3/8 will actually fit right inside that 1/2 inch. So that does limit how far over the tool rest I can go, or we'll start to get pretty bad vibration. And I also got to raise it up. Go. Oh yeah, and especially when you're dealing with the wet woods, they dull your tools out so much faster. Let's see if you guys can get you zoomed in here. If you can see that finish from the tool. It kind of gets bleached out. And whoa, Anwar, welcome in. Lay, we're making it's like a little bowl, a little pot. This is gonna, like I said before, this is gonna be twice turn bowls. This wood is wet. Oh Jesus! Come on. There we go. So this particular one, I believe this is more of that. I think this is elm. So if that's what this is, this came from a neighbor. That's our best guess, by the way. He wasn't sure what sort of tree he had, but it was getting kind of sickly, so he had it taken down, and I got a log from him. Again, that's the wormwood screw. That's what I start my turnings on. That's what screws right into there to get us going. But anyway, like I said, since the wood is so wet, you do your initial turn on it, you leave it nice and thick, and then you come back once it's dry and do the final turn on it. Take it down to its final shape and thickness. But as it is wet wood, it is going to warp. Not if, it will. There we go. Get you guys moved over here for the better view. See if I can zoom you in here. I kind of want you guys to be able to see the shavings fly. This one should be pretty good. Depends on how wet it is, how thick you leave it. Can take up to a couple months. Like there's some professional turners who will wrap it up in basically in saran wrap and leave them for a year. I don't have that sort of patience, so they'll be lucky if they make it a couple months. They'll be lucky if they make it a month. Let's be honest, I'm not that patient. They're going to come down, they're going to get turned and get sealed off, and if they move anymore, then that's what they do. All right. Furman, welcome in. All right. Oh, I keep bumping you guys. Sorry about that. Hey, Matt. What's going on, man? Kwa, welcome in. We are quickly approaching the point where this gouge is not thick enough to keep going in. Try to take smaller bites so we can keep going, but there we go. Okay. Ooh, yep, that's about as far as he can reach in before we're going to start having troubles. So we're going to switch over to our Easy Wood tool, which is that carbide. Nice thing about Easy Wood is they actually tell you, they give you a mark right there. It says that's as far in as you can go. And on this one, the mid-size, that is right at 4.5 inches. I can tell you from experience, you can go further than that. It just gets a little sketchy. Hey, Brian, what's going on, sir? Does sawdust have a fragrant smell? Depends on the wood species. Very much depends on the wood species you are cutting. Let's see if I can't get this to a better spot. I don't know if that's a better spot. That's in my way. I guess it's got to stay there. So if you get if you're cutting Padauk or Sapele, they smell, to me at least, they smell wonderful. And then there's some other woods that just don't smell that great. Ooh. Okay, I'm closing in on the max overreach for this particular Easy Wood tool. So when that happens, let's see if I can't pull you over here. So when you start getting to that max overreach, it's best just to put your whole forearm on it. So you can get some decent leverage. Cedar, yeah, cedar's a good one. That smells wonderful. All right. Trying to get around that corner down there. All right, we got to bring out the big guns. So we're about to break out the Easy Wood Pro Hollower, which has a lot of overreach. This one should have no troubles. All right, having trouble seeing what I'm doing here. All right, let's zoom you guys out for a sec. We're going to take a measurement, see where we are. Oh. Well, current depth's only about 2.5, and 2.5 puts us, I mean, at full depth, that's 3 inches. So it gives us a 1/2 inch to the base, and our sides are just about at 1/2 inch. Let me pull you guys back here so you can see. We're going to use our little figure 8 tool. It's about a pinky width. Pinky is about 1/2 inch. That's consistent. So we're just going to straighten off that edge right there. And then this one will also be set aside to dry. There we go. Quite a bit thinner shavings right there. Just taking a much smaller cut. Let's get this popped off the lathe and we'll take a look at it. Get the flashlight out the way. So this, we widened out the very base to fit into this area. Of course, like I said, once it's dry, we'll take that even further and probably take a bowl like this down to about 1/8 in thickness. I think that'd look pretty cool. There's that one. So he's going to go on the shelf to dry. Here's the one we made earlier. This is another mystery wood. I honestly have no idea what this could be. Might be, didn't smell like ash. Ash has a distinctive smell that if you work with that or turn it, you'll recognize it immediately. But that's what we got. If you guys are enjoying this, I'm often out here turning late night. So do the YouTube stuff, hit the like, subscribe. Maybe we'll see you again at another live. And I didn't see if anybody's planning on going next. Mex, are you going to be going live, or Pilato? One of you guys, maybe? Well, hopefully you guys have subscribed to all those guys. Like I said, good group, really good group. Got some new turners in the group, some old-time turners, general woodworkers. There's a lot of different ones. But hopefully we'll see you again. But you guys take care now.